Hey ladies, I want to talk to you about cravings because I had a long conversation with a friend earlier today and we were talking about cravings and I told her, I said, yeah, macros totally busted out my cravings. And she really wanted to know more. So I figured if my friend wanted to know, then you would want to know too. First of all, let's talk about where cravings come from. They come from habits, which I talk about that all the time. They come from stress because increased stress increases cortisol, which increases our want to eat more sugary, more foods that make us feel good. They come from processed foods. Now, this may be one that you may or may not be completely familiar with, but processed foods, think Cheez-Its, because I had a conversation about those this morning. Think anything that comes in a box that is pre-made pretty much is a processed food in one way, shape, or form. What may be fine if you make it at home may not be so good for you if you eat it in a box, because the things in the box are chemically engineered to make you to want to eat more. Something they started, I believe, is sometime in the 70s, where processed foods are actually designed to make you want to eat more than a serving. So that is a place that cravings can come from. Cravings can also come from unbalanced hormones and under eating long term. Ever heard the word hangry, where you're so hungry you'll eat anything, and a lot of us crave specific things? That's all of the places that cravings can come from. Now, let's talk about specifically the sugar, because sugar is another place. The more sugar you eat, it's kind of like, cocaine. It makes you want to eat more sugar. It's just, that's the way our bodies are built. Sugar gives us a little happy high, and that makes you want to eat more of it. So, how did macros bust out my cravings? When I started using macros, I really focused on eating whole foods, because guess what? It is a heck of a lot easier to record chicken and broccoli in MyFitnessPal than it is to go through and record what's in a box, because what's in the box, a lot of times, their weights and measures don't necessarily match if you're using a measuring cup. So, I found it a lot easier when I very first started to actually make my food and weigh it that way. So I stopped eating processed foods for the most part. I do eat some now. And because I could actually see what I was eating, I tended to eat less sugar. And then I started, anything I bought in a container, I would read the ingredients, and if sugar was above the fifth ingredient on the list, I wouldn't eat it. So because I was doing macros and because I was recording what I ate, I actually can see how much sugar I'm getting every day, and I eat within a certain boundary. And I was eating whole foods, and my cravings went poof. That does not mean that it ended the cravings caused by stress. That I had to use habits for. But the cravings caused by sugar, the cravings caused by processed foods, both went bye-bye. The other thing that can cause cravings are unbalanced hormones. And I was eating really low fat because I thought in order to lose weight, I am a child of the 70s. What did we do? We ate low fat. So even though I was eating fats that were good for me, thinking olive oil and nuts and coconut oil, I was eating very little of it, which caused my hormones to go completely out of whack. Because I was doing macros, I actually learned how much fat my body needed. And so when I figured out what my body needed, it balanced out my hormones, which completely stopped the type of craving that comes from manufactured foods, sugar, and unbalanced hormones. So The other thing it did for me was I was eating really low calorie and had been for a very long time early in my journey. And it turned out I was eating such low calorie that although I was fighting off these cravings, I still had them. When I upped my calories to match my macros, I actually eliminated cravings in another way. So that just left the stress part of the craving, which, we all have to deal with. Otherwise, on TV, they would not show moms and daughters sitting on the couch eating gallons of ice cream together after a breakup. Stress does oftentimes make us want to eat, and we have to find a new way to do that. And that's with the habits. But with the macros, you actually kill off a lot of the physical cravings, not the emotional, but the physical cravings. So you're only fighting one kind at a time over two kinds. So it makes it a lot easier. Now, what did we talk about today? We talked about where cravings come from: stress, sugar, processed foods, unbalanced hormones, and under eating long term. And I explained to you why macros actually helped me cut those cravings and pull them back in so that I was able to focus on building habits on top of learning how to do the macros, which made the world so much easier, which is the reason why, guys, I am sharing a whole lot more about macros and nutrition in this area, because I think the two really work together to give you a strong structure to actually reach your goal. So with that said, that is my quick blurb on how macros kill cravings. I am going to send you off with love and hugs. If you watch this and you have questions, type in #replay and I will answer questions. But I'm going to send you off with love and hugs and the reminder that it's small, consistent steps that you take daily that'll get you to your goal. Have an amazing Wednesday afternoon. Lost track of the days. And I will be back in here on probably Friday, I think. But let's see how it goes. You guys have a great week and enjoy getting ready for Christmas. Bye-bye.